Hey everybody, it's Andy Bob here. I'm here at Indie Trading Post. It's our new channel that we got going on. I wanted to start off doing a video on some issues that we see a lot here in the shop, and starting off today I wanted to do one on how to pick out that personal defense weapon, especially for women. We see this a lot. What you have is the boyfriend, husband will come in and want to buy a firearm for their wife or girlfriend, and the first thing that they go to is the smallest gun that they can find. It had the same thing with women that come in. The first thing that they want to do is they say that they want the smallest gun because it's something that fits in their purse. It's really small. They don't want it to be seen. The problem with that is that people don't really consider, especially if they're first time gun owners and have never really shot much, is the recoil on some of these smaller firearms is pretty significant compared to some of the bigger firearms, even in larger calibers. I have people come in and the first thing they go to is something like this, and I got a few here on the table I want to show. Everything's been safety checked. The Kel-Tec, it's the P3AT. These things are very, very small. People like these. They want to jump on them. These will jump out of your hand in a heartbeat. It is a 380. They're very small. There's not much grip there. They're great backup weapons. They're great pocket pistols, but as far as a self-defense weapon for a first-time gun owner, this is not something I would really recommend. And then moving up in size, and I kind of got them in order of recoil sensitivity because that tends to be a big one. Another one here is the TCP. They make these in all different styles and colors now. It's another 380. These are pretty snappy as well, but they're a little bit larger than the P3AT, the Kel-Tec. So I would recommend this over the Kel-Tec. Next up, we got the Ruger LCP. This is one of my favorite. I know Billy here owns one as his backup. He's shown it in some videos. Great firearm, excellent quality. Again, they're just kind of they really can be pretty snappy, but it's a lot less than the Kel-Tec. And the Rugers you can get with the laser on it. The same thing with the Bodyguard. Bodyguard here. This is one of my favorites. The grip is a little bit longer, and the barrel is a little bit longer than these. And you can even see from. There's not much, but it's just enough that I can tell the difference, or it feels different in my hand, and it just feels like I got a better grip angle on the Bodyguard here. Again, this one does have a laser. Most Bodyguards do have lasers. Rugers you can get them with or without. A lot of them have them. That's the 380s that we see a lot of people coming in and wanting to get. Next thing that you see people get, maybe you see it in other gun shops, that someone will come in and the first thing they'll want to send a woman to, or someone that's buying a firearm for their spouse, is they'll send them over to the Revolvers. Not every woman wants a revolver. Not every woman is required to carry a revolver. What's nice about Revolvers is that they're very easy to use. They're very simple firearms. Revolvers are point and shoot. Pull the trigger, and that's all you got to think about. I didn't mention it, but one of the other things you need to consider when buying a firearm for a spouse or daughter or someone like that is making sure that they can even manipulate the slide. You see that a lot too. That women will come in, they'll want one of these firearms, and they just can't quite pull it back far enough. Or guy will take it and end up coming back and wanting to trade it in because they find out that they can't manipulate the slide. There is a trick to it. I'll show you real quick. Instead of just pulling back like that, one of the best ways to do it is when you're holding it, push forward with this hand at the same time. Especially whatever your dominant hand is, push forward while you're pulling back, and that helps quite a bit. And that is something that, it's not just something we hear people also that say that, well, I'll load it for her and then we'll be fine. She won't have to worry about pulling back the slide. But what happens if you get a jam? What happens if you need to clear that firearm for whatever reason? Say, you have a stovepipe. What is she going to do at that point? She's going to call you when the burglar's there, and it seems pointless at that point. So, all right, moving on to the Revolvers. The other issues we see, the other factors to consider, is the weight of the Revolvers. People will hold a revolver in their hand and they'll say, "Oh, man, that's so light. That's so perfect. I could carry that." And then they'll pick up something like this. That's the Smith & Wesson 642. Here's the Rossi. Again, they've all been safety checked. But this is all steel. This is a lightweight alloy. But when you're holding these, you can definitely tell the difference in the weight. But don't just go by what it feels like, how it would be to carry it, how it would feel sitting in your purse. And I don't recommend carrying in a purse. You always should have it on your person. But with these, again, there's going to be a lot of recoil with them. The firearms that they make now, or the ammunition that they make now, Hornady makes a really light load. It's like a 90 grain 38 special load. And it really helps with the recoil. And in these airweight guns, these really lightweight guns that they're making nowadays, the Hornady stuff that they're making is designed for women, and the polymer tip that they have in the bullet itself, it's pink. So that's part of what is made. It's designed for women, but we have a lot of guys that come in and buy that stuff because it does help with the recoil. And when you shoot one for the first time, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I would rather deal with the weight of this if you're concerned about recoil and be able to get back on target quicker with the recoil, not have it jump out of your hand, because you know, as soon as guns start bouncing out of your hands, it's hard to get back on target fairly quick, because when you shoot it once, especially when your adrenaline's pumping, you shoot it once, you're wanting to empty. People empty those magazines, they empty the cylinders really quick when they get that adrenaline pumping and get scared in a frightful situation. But revolvers are very simple to use. Pull the trigger. So that's what's nice about revolvers. But you see the difference between them. You got really simple with the revolvers, with the semi-auto, the smaller semi-autos, making sure that they can manipulate the slides. And with those smaller firearms like that, it can be a little bit to hold on to with your hands, especially if you have a little bit larger hands. Okay, we've looked at those. Now the other ones that I would recommend, and I recommend a lot, and I didn't get it here, I grabbed the wrong one, is, if we still have it here at Indie Trading Post. Alright, well, it looks like we sold it, but I can show you a couple of them. Here's another Bersa 380. This is their concealed carry. We've got this here for sale right now. The one I was showing you, this is the 22, and 22s are fine if you needed to in a pinch. The recoil is minimal in a 22, so that's the other thing to consider. And we'll talk about 22s in another video probably. But Bersa makes the Thunder. They make it in all calibers now. They make it in 22, 380, 9, 40, and 45. But these are a little bit bigger, but they're still small enough, and the quality's there. They're still small enough to carry, but the recoil is going to be a lot less. You got the longer barrel, you got the larger grip. That's the 380 and the Bersa. Here's the concealed carry. It's about the same, a little bit smaller, a little bit slimmer. Now moving up to the 9s. People hear 9 and they get frightened, but the truth of the matter is, this Ruger LC9 is going to have less recoil than this Ruger LCP, and it's in 9mm. So you've got a longer barrel, it's going to help with the recoil. You got a fuller grip, it's going to help with the recoil. So that's a factor to consider. It's not just the size of the bullet, not just the size of the ammunition that you're using. The Beretta Nano, another great firearm. I like them with the extended mags here. They've got the extension there to give you a bigger grip there. They also come with the flush mag, and that my pinky barely fits on there. It doesn't really fit on there, but with those extended, it helps out a lot. But again, these are great firearms. It's a Beretta. It's still slim. It's still small. It's small enough to carry. At 9mm, it's going to recoil less than the other ones that we've been showing. Another great one. It's a good economy one, and it's a Taurus. Lifetime warranties on them. But again, it's about the same size as those, going up to 9mm. So those are a few things to consider when you're thinking about purchasing your first firearm, especially for people that are recoil sensitive, is to look and consider. You know, it's not the size of the gun is gonna help determine the recoil that you may have with firearm. It's not always just run in and grab the smallest gun, because I think that the smallest gun is going to recoil the least amount. That's not it. That's not true at all. Physics comes into big play with firearms. So something to consider. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel here. It's Andy Bob's Gun Vault, and come and see us here at Indie Trading Post. We're at 2851 South Madison. You can reach us here at 317-782-GUNS. We're here in Indy. If you see anything here, we're always available. We're ready to sell. So thanks a lot, guys, and take care. And there's Jay. That's gonna make it on there.